Okay.
Don't know what happened.
Priscilla Morales Ramos, you are rescheduled to June 20th. You are done. You are free to leave the meeting. Have a great day.
Alrighty, Judge. Looks like everyone's back in the main room. Whenever you are ready, you can begin.
All right, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadine Nieto, and I am your judge of the 285th District Court. It is my pleasure to welcome you to jury service. Thank you very much for your cooperation in performing this civic duty with us today. I assure you that we will do everything that we can possibly do to make your time with us pleasant and rewarding. If you are now, or if you have ever been a member of our military, please, I ask and I thank you for your service if you have. For jury service, please remember the one thing we need from you is to be completely truthful and answer the questions that are asked of you as completely as you can. If you are not selected on a jury, please do not think that your time has been wasted. Under our system of law, we must have more panel members than we can actually use on a jury. And of course, we could not accomplish this without all of your participation. Before sending you over to the courts, I need to cover certain qualifications and exemptions with you. To serve on this jury, there are certain qualifications you must meet. Please listen carefully. If you are not qualified and you sit on a jury, the case might need to be retried, and this would be a waste of everyone's time. Here are the qualifications. You must be at least 18 years of age. You must be a citizen of the United States. You must be a resident of Texas and Bexar County. You must be qualified under the Constitution of the laws to vote in Bexar County. You must be of sound mind and good moral character. You must be able to read and write. You must not have served as a juror for 6 days during the preceding 3 months in Bexar County Court, or during the preceding 6 months in District Court. You must not have been convicted of a misdemeanor theft or felony. And you must not be currently under indictment or other legal accusation for misdemeanor theft or felony. In addition to disqualifications, the law also provides for certain exemptions. These individuals are not disqualified, but are entitled to claim an exemption. If you waive your exemption and choose to serve, we would be pleased to have you. The decision is yours. Okay? The first exemption is if you are 70 years of age. If you have legal custody of a child or children younger than 12 years of age, and your service on the jury would require you to leave the child or children without adequate supervision. If you are a student of a public or private secondary school, if you are a person that is enrolled in an actual attendance at an institution of higher education, if you are an officer or an employee of the Senate, the House of Representatives, or any department, commission, board, or other agency in the legislative branch of state government. If you are a primary caretaker of a person who is an invalid, unable to care for himself or herself. If you are summoned in a county like this one with a population of at least 250,000, and you have already served as a juror in Bexar County during the 3-year period before the date that you are to appear. If you are a member of the United States military forces serving on active duty and deployed to a location away from your home station and out of your county of residence. There are additional exemptions that I will go over with you. For example, if you have an inability to comprehend or communicate in the English language, that makes it impossible or very difficult for you to serve on the jury, that would be an additional exemption. And if you have a physical or mental impairment that makes it impossible or very difficult for you to serve on a jury. Now, in order for me to consider the exemption with regard to not being able to communicate in English, I will need you to fill out an affidavit. In order for me to consider an exemption for a physical or mental impairment, I will also need you to fill out an affidavit and to attach a statement from your physician. Now, finally, some of you may have business or travel plans. You may be sick. You may have a sickness in the family. You may have a financial hardship or a work situation or other problem which may come up that may make jury service very inconvenient for you. However, state law does not allow me to excuse you from jury service because of these problems. What you would have to do is bring this up to the judge in the courtroom, which you have been assigned or which you will be assigned, and that judge will decide whether or not you will be excused from jury service. At this time, I will administer the oath of service to you, and I ask that you all raise your right hand. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will make true answers to such questions as may be propounded to you by the court or under its direction, touching your service and qualifications as a juror? So help you God.
I do.
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 I
I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Okay, very, very good. Very good to hear you affirming that you will exercise and that you will keep your oath. And that is what allows us to move forward with our system of justice. Thank you very, very much. Now, I'd like to thank you for your service. I'd like to tell you that I am on the 4th floor, Judge Nadine Nieto on the 4th floor. And if you have any questions, you can ask them of the staff, of the personnel and the bailiffs, and they would be happy to answer them. But at this time, I'm going to share with you some of our safety protocols at the courthouse complex. Now, if assigned, if any of the following applies to you, please contact the court you have been assigned to prior to coming to the courthouse. The number will be provided to you in a separate breakout room. If you have fever, cough, nausea, sore throat, muscle aches, malaise, diarrhea, shortness of breath, vomiting, a recent loss of taste or smell, if you are sick and not feeling well, if you are under quarantine for COVID-19, if you have tested positive for COVID-19, or if you have had contact with someone who has tested positive with COVID-19. Special order number 72711, issued December 17th of 2021, is the order in effect which controls use of masks and social distancing within the courthouse complex with those conducting business, and that includes juror service. This order uses the City of San Antonio's COVID-19 dashboard to determine when masks and social distancing are required. So currently, the dashboard is at a medium transmission for COVID-19. You can scan the QR code to check the risk level. if the city remains in medium transmission. Face coverings are not required, but strongly encouraged for all unvaccinated individuals entering the Bexar County Courthouse and Central Jury Room. Social distancing of 3 feet is required for all person proceedings. Now, judges are allowed to have more stringent standards in their courtrooms and may require you to wear a mask and social distance. You will be placed on a panel and you will report in person to the assigned judge, which means you will have to be in person and drive to the courthouse. You will receive instructions when you are in the breakout room. You will also receive an email with all of the relevant information. The central jury room and courts will be disinfected prior to your arrival. The jury room and the courts will have several sanitizing stations available. One will be located at the entrance of the central jury office. You will have the opportunity to speak to the judge regarding a disqualification, legal exemption, and health concerns regarding COVID. Now, please do not enter the courtroom once you arrive. Once you are placed on a jury panel, you will receive an email with your report date, location, and time. Now, if you arrive early, which means more than 15 minutes before your designated time, do not congregate in the hallways of the Justice Center and do not enter the assigned courtroom. Instead, you should wait in the cafeteria located in the basement until your designated time of arrival. If you arrive at your designated time, do not enter the courtroom. Wait outside the courtroom. Court personnel will greet you in the hallway and give you further instructions. And this is only to avoid the possibility of you witnessing any trial matters for the trial, which you may actually serve as a juror. It is very important that you follow these instructions. Now we will present a short video.
Hello, I'm Rosie Alvarado, local administrative judge of Bexar County, Texas. Your local judges want participants of in-person court proceedings to take part in those proceedings in the safest manner possible. This short video provides an overview of the health and safety protocols implemented in the Bexar County complex. We, the courts, rely on the safety recommendations of the CDC and the San Antonio Metro Health Advisors. We have confidence that these protocols meet the current and best practices to keep all court staff, practitioners, and the public safe during their visit at the courthouse. We look forward to seeing you in court.
Visitors to the Bexar County Court Complex can feel confident the courts are exercising best practices regarding health and safety. Hospital-grade UVC light air sanitizers have been installed in the air handlers in all Bexar County-owned buildings. There are also 74 freestanding hospital-grade commercial HEPA air filters available to use. Foot-operated sanitizer dispensers are available at each building entrance, courtroom entrance, and at elevators. Courtrooms have been outfitted with plexiglass shields and distanced layouts. Courthouse staff are protected by plexiglass shields. Judges may require face coverings and maximum social distancing in their own courtrooms. When entering the building, please maintain social distance protocols. The court complex is comprised of 3 buildings: the historic Bexar County Courthouse, the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, and the Paul Elizondo Tower. The historic courthouse houses the probate courts, the civil district courts, and the civil county courts at law. The Dolorosa entrance and Nueva entrance have stairs. The accessible entrance is through the Heritage Center. The Cadena Reeves Justice Center houses the 4th Court of Appeals, the criminal district courts, and the criminal county courts at law. This building has an accessible entrance on Dolorosa. The Paul Elizondo Tower houses the Office of the District Attorney and a select number of courts. This building has 1 accessible entrance on Nueva. Our courts will continue to operate with the most current information and in consideration of the health and safety of our community. We look forward to seeing you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to go ahead and do now, we're going to open up the floor for anyone who needs to speak with the judge or a staff member regarding a legal exemption, disqualification, or COVID-like concern. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure everyone is on mute. That way you hear all my given instructions with less background noise, okay? So let me go ahead and do that. As well, one thing I do ask all those raised hands, please wait until the very end. Let me get through all my instructions first. And then at the very, very end, if you need to raise your hand, I will cue you when it's appropriate. So it's not quite just yet. Let me get through all my instructions first, and then I'll let you know when to raise your hand, okay? So like I mentioned, we're going to open up the floor for anyone who needs to speak with a judge or a staff member regarding a legal exemption, disqualification, or any COVID-like concern. Again, only the legal exemptions, disqualifications, or any COVID-like concern. So those are the ones that were shared on your screen. Those are the ones that the judge went over. Those are the same ones that are listed on your summons, as well as any COVID-like concern. So